record video.
Listen, you live streamers, why you complain? We're giving you the stuff that we normally give you after the show, and you guys get to enjoy it. So,
Yeah, you complainers.
Yeah, see,
yeah, see,
yeah.
Right. I think we're ready. Here we go.
Cool.
Everything's recording. Wait, did I do that right? Oh, please tell me. Yep, I did. Okay, here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Matthew Bayard. I'm a man and I ride a bicycle.
She was a very attractive girl, but that was no reason for me to kill her.
The morning stream. That's my safety word.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TMS, the final morning edition of the show this week. It is September 12th. It is Thursday. It's 2019. I'm Scott, and he's Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Scott. How are you? Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. Also,
I love Thursdays, actually.
I do, too. Thursdays are pretty good for me. Also, to all our Seattle people out there, I'm drinking out of a cup with a big Space Needle on it. So there's that. Also, if you squint really hard, you can see a tiny little Brian Ibbett jumping off on a little rope. Not quite.
I don't know if they offer that on the Space Needle. Probably not.
I doubt it. Right? There's no way.
Yeah.
That's got to be some kind of crazy.
It just fits in Vegas more. Like Vegas people, you don't go to Seattle and say, "Oh my God, I'm going to go to Seattle. I'm going to get so drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to drink so much coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to."
Yeah.
I'm going to buy some, freshly caught fish from the Pike Market. Then I'm going to jump off the. Yeah,
I don't think they do it. I think there's too much. What's the word I'm trying to say? Where you're under
common sense.
No, the legal ramifications. What am I trying to say? You are under
too much of an insurance hassle. Like too much of a
liability.
That's
the word.
Gotcha.
It was taking forever to come out of my face. That word. Anyway.
And in Toronto, on their CN Tower, they don't offer it there. Why would you? Oh man, why would you want to jump off of that, eh?
Mm-hmm.
It's such a nice tower. Don't jump off of it. Just look at the pretty city, eh?
Yeah, hey. Dude, I haven't even seen that. What is that tower? I've never even heard of it before. What'd you call it again?
The CN Tower. It looks like, it looks like the thing you go up and view SeaWorld. Like when you want to see how SeaWorld is all laid out, you go up the CN Tower in Toronto.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I've never seen that.
It's not like it doesn't have a flary part out as much as the Space Needle or the Stratosphere do.
Oh, but that one does have. And they do groups. Okay, so I'm looking at a photo here of 6 people all harnessed in. And you can
get out, really?
Yeah, and you can rappel. I don't think you can jump, but you can rappel. Or maybe it is a jump.
Okay, good, because I feel like jumping, if you had 6 people all jump off of this thing at the same time, at some point you're going to end up with one of those things that you see on executive desks that have the silver balls that go.
Yeah. Do people still get those? Is that a thing? Can you get that still?
Oh, of course you can still get those. Are you kidding me?
All right.
Come on. When you were a kid, you totally wanted one of those, and then you either got one or a friend had one, and then you play with it like, yeah, that's all it does, right? Okay, good.
I really think I had one, and it tangled all up, and then it got lost and broken, and who cared after that? But yeah, you're right. I mean, the physics of that is pretty rad. There you go, chat. You can see this. There's all these people lined up. They're about to. I can't tell if they're gonna repel or dive.
They're definitely gonna. I think they're gonna repel. Yeah, they're very repellent.
If the men look like they're hurting, it's because they've got really tight straps on their crotch.
Wedged in.
Yeah.
Real tight on the units there. Yeah, it's called the edge walk, and so they basically just they do this thing in a much more horizontal fashion over the bridge in Darling Harbour in Sydney. Basically the bridge that you usually see behind all the photos of the Sydney Opera House. Mm-hmm. They do this thing where they walk across that upper support structure of the bridge, not the bridge itself, but the like one of the support structures that goes over it. Mm-hmm. And you're harnessed in, you're with a group. I'd love to do that sometime too.
That seems like fun. So these guys just kind of hang on the edge. They're not really jumping, are they? They're just walking around the edge?
No, they just walk down the.
So they do
walk
go down
down
they do go down the length of the thing, right? Like,
I would assume so. What's weird is, and I'm not sure about this, but it looks like the CN Tower. Does that
does it move?
observation deck go up and down, or does it stay in place and you do elevators to go? I guess, yeah, it must, because it gets too wide at the bottom for that thing to actually be a moving observation deck.
Yeah, and
So,
it looks
yeah,
like it's. Yeah, I'm looking at the underneath of it, and it's all strutted into that cement. So it looks like it's.
Is it
solid.
okay?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, then that's the deal. So yeah, these people probably just walk along the, along the edge there.
I don't know why that's so interesting to me, but it is.
Mhm.
I'm finding it fascinating. Here, chat. You can see the underside there. It's all. But it
Looks
does
like
from a distance, though. It looks like the kind of thing that would go up and
It
down.
does,
that tower.
yeah. Looks like a cheeseburger on a stick with a Estes model rocket taped to the top of it.
Oh, you had me at cheeseburger on a stick. That sounds good.
Cheeseburger on a stick.
Gosh dang it! I haven't had a burger in weeks. I need a burger. It's been too
Oh,
long.
really? I
Yeah.
had a really good burger 2 nights ago, Tuesday night at Puzzled Pint.
What'd you? Oh, the place you were talking about how this place had those crazy burgers. How was
That's
it?
why I rode my bike there, because I wanted to. I decided I'd feel a lot better about myself if I kept to 0 point food. So I had just eggs for breakfast and salad for lunch,
Mhm.
and so I could kind of have a burger
Sure.
at dinner. And then the burger I had, I'm trying to find their menu so I can. Oh, here it is. The burger I had was the King of the Forest, beef patty, fig jam, roasted mushrooms, bib lettuce, sliced tomato, herb marinated goat cheese, and a balsamic thyme reduction.
Oh. That sounds so good right now. Why does that
It's
sound
really,
so
really good on a regular bun and with house-made potato chips.
I love
As
those.
opposed to fries.
Those are always good at places
are. They
that do
really
them.
are. Yeah.
If you make your own chips, I'm in. Unless you're Chi-Chi's, and then they're terrible. Don't eat their chips.
Right,
They're
exactly.
very bad. All right.
Yes.
Well, that's all well and good. Maybe
Anyway.
today. Maybe today.
Alright.
I'll give me a burger today. Maybe that. Maybe today.
Today will be the day that I get a burger.
That's right. Oh, I've been wanting to do it for the show. I want to go try the Burger King's doing their own. What do they call that?
Tacos.
No, the burger with the no meat in it. But it's
Oh, Impossible Meat Burger.
yeah.
Sure.
So I figure that's a good example to go. All right. Well, how is fast food going to handle this? And try that,
Yeah.
and then come back to the show and report my findings of the Whopper that has no actual meat in it.
Yeah, you totally should. I had some at one of the burger places in Las Vegas before the most recent TMS Vegas.
Yeah.
Went out there with the folks and Tanner and tried some of the Impossible Meat Burger. Somebody else got it, so basically they just let me have a bite. It's texture wise and flavor wise very, very similar to a burger. I really honestly, if I were served one of those and not told it was an Impossible Meat Burger, I probably wouldn't notice, or I'd say, oh, there's kind of an unusual seasoning or something involved in this, but I wouldn't think, oh, I am not eating meat. I'm eating plant.
But you would notice something's different, though, right? Like it would have been.
I think so, but not like I ever even taste my food. I really just shove it down. My throat opens up like one of those lizard people from V, and you could just drop a mouse in there and it'll never touch my taste buds.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I love that scene.
I unhinge my jaw like a snake and just shove the food in.
I love it.
No, I think it was so close that I think unless I was looking for a difference, I probably wouldn't notice it.
Darth Marquis makes a point. He's a local as well, and he's right about this. If you are in Salt Lake City and you want the best burgers in town, we have kind of a local chain. It's all owned by some Greek family, or at least it used to be. Apollo Burger, Astro Burger, Crown Burger, or Olympus Burger. They're all kind of the same. Split offs of these original people that owned. I think Crown's where it started. It might have been, or Apollo. Anyway,
Okay.
fantastic local burgers, and these. These
I
places are
love that
everywhere.
they don't go with the same name for all their locations.
Right.
That, people just know that they're all part of the same family, but that way you can say, you know what, let's go to Astro Burger. And then you don't have to say, no, let's go to the Astro Burger on Main. No, not on 20th and Main, but on 55th and Main.
Yeah, what I'm thinking it is, I think I could be wrong, but I think maybe the original family had a fight and everyone broke off and did their own thing or something. But they're all kind of the same. I forget. There's some story about it. Some weird history that I would like to know more about. There's this great restaurant or I don't know if it's a great restaurant, but there's this restaurant downtown with all this story about it. It used to be called My Wife's Place. Okay. So you'd go there, and it was some guy and his wife made it, and it was a restaurant, and they did whatever. And about 9 months later, I remember driving by there, and the name had changed to My Ex-Wife's Place. And now it's My Ex-Wife's Place. Yeah. They got divorced.
That's hilarious. I mean, you think that, you get a divorce, it just becomes my wife's place and not mine.
Yep. It's really weird. It's really funky.
That's really funny.
Anyway,
My ex-wife's. Huh.
the old joke when I was growing up, because this Crown Burger, Astro Burger thing has been around since I was a kid. When I was a teenager, every time I went in there, and I don't mean this in any kind of racially insensitive way, but every time I was in that place, everyone working behind the counter had a mole right here on their cheek, right there. Every one of them. And it was I didn't know if it was a Greek thing. You just have a mole. That's what you do. I don't know.
No, but there is. Okay, is there? I mean, it does seem like when you go to a Greek restaurant or a restaurant that's owned by Greeks, there's a great Euro place that Tina and I went to that's on Colfax, one of the classic streets in Colorado and Denver. It bisects the whole city. Colfax, everybody knows Colfax. Anyway, there's a great Greek place on there, and yeah, same exact thing. Like Greek owned, and everybody you see behind the counter has a mole on their face.
I know. That's just the weirdest thing, and I'm not saying that all Greek people have moles, but I think all moles have a Greek person.
No, I think it's much more likely that the semicircle is within the Greek people. The mole semicircle is completely contained within the. Oh no, I guess let me rephrase that. The Venn diagram, the Greek people with moles is larger than the moles with Greek people.
There you go.
Moles with Greek people attached to them.
Yeah, I like that. It's pretty good.
It'd be a really funny Venn diagram. Basically, it'd be a big circle that says Greek people, and then it'd be a little tiny black circle that says moles.
Yep.
From the Venn diagram.
And it'd look like a mole. That's how it would work.
Right. Exactly. It'd be a little mole.
Chat room. Thanks. They say Scott's brain is a strange place. No, it's not. It's fine. It's fine in there. Yeah. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but it's all right. Hey, Gears 5. I got a quick thing. I'm not. This isn't a video game show, so I'm not going to review this or anything. But we started playing that thing right after Core last night. We thought we'd do. Hey, let's do this horde mode. It's just take on waves of increasingly difficult enemies, kind of thing.
Horde mode.
You've pretty good Greg Street impression you just did there.
Thank you.
And it's what you think it is. It's very good. But we played. It turns out 50 rounds of a game like that takes a really long time. I didn't go to bed till like 1:30. So like 1:30 in the morning, I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude. And that's why I'm a little out of it today. I feel like I'm a little off. I got like 2-3 hours of sleep I didn't get, and it just feels off. But it's okay.
We finished. We usually go raid wise. We usually go right to 11 o'clock and then say, okay, we're gonna stop right here. We finished up the last boss at 10:40 and said, how much trash do we have before the next boss? And Rose said something like, well, we've got enough time that we could do the trash and probably get one pull on the boss. And Ben says, yeah, I think we'll call it here. All right, good night, everybody. And we were all like, 3 or 4 of us are logged up like, hey, thanks, bye. And logged off within a minute of them saying that.
Nobody wants to do trash at 11. Come on.
No, we don't want to end our night with trash and one pull on a boss that if we don't take down, we're going to have to do that trash again the next night anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Nobody wants to do that. And yesterday, here's the other thing yesterday. I got not cheesed. I got a little cheesed. Yeah, that's the word I'll use. I got a little cheesed off about something. So,
okay.
I don't know if you've heard, but there have been a handful of deaths that seem to be related to vaping, and in particular, like some weird, sketchy rigs that people made either themselves or based on somebody else's design. And some THC stuff that was like hokey. So it appears to be not so much of a all vaping is killing everyone thing, or is worse than cigarettes or something. It's like this kind of isolated sort of, it's like shark attacks is what it reminds me of. It's like there have been some shark attacks and everyone freaks out as if all sharks are killing everybody all the time. Well, anyway, as a result, everybody to the highest levels of government now are saying they should ban vaping. And flavored vapes in particular. They want to get rid of the stuff that attracts the kids, the children's, right?
Right, because they're marketed. Cotton candy is not marketed towards the 40-year-old who's trying to give up.
Right.
Give up his Winstons.
So it's all this and they even said bootleg in the chat. It's bootleg stuff that's causing the problem.
Right.
But it's being seen as this thing. I think Trump yesterday said, his words were, innocent children are coming home and telling their parents, Mom, I want a vape. That's what he said.
So
anyway, yeah, he said that.
Did he do this while he was?
Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping that he did this while he was explaining that.
He's totally doing that.
Playing his magical invisible accordion. Like he's the third member of They Might Be Giants or something.
And my big thing is I don't want to make this a current political issue, but I guess I don't vape. I don't condone. I'm not like a huge fan of it. I find it kind of annoying and obnoxious and hipstery, and it annoys me. But I know there's some people who vape instead of cigarettes now because it's actually healthier for them than still being hooked on cigarettes, so on and so forth. I don't want to get into all those issues other than I don't vape. No one in my house vapes. We just don't vape.
Sure.
But something like 300,000 people die every year of cigarette-related illnesses in this country alone from cigarettes. 6 people died from bootleg, weird shit vape devices. And we're thinking about banning that? Like, I don't understand.
Children, Scott.
Yeah, but I don't understand.
Think of the children.
But children will get cigarettes
and
and
not the children involved in school shootings. Not those children.
No,
not those children.
well,
it's the vaping children.
Well, and that, I mean, I hadn't even thought of that, but you're right. It also is like, hello.
What? Won't you? Yeah, exactly. We need to protect our children, not the children in the school shootings, but the vaping children.
I mean, it does feel like sometimes if vape companies could figure out a way to make their vape devices, their rigs, make them so they can also shoot bullets, then maybe they won't get banned. Like that's how it feels. Like what are we doing? What are we doing? You can't get up and look me. You can't look me in the eye and go, "We've got to do something about this vape epidemic that's killing our children." Really? You're going to say that with a straight face? How do you? Right. And again, I'm not even pro vape here, but suddenly I am. I'm a pro vape lobbyist. Sign me up. I'm gonna go talk about vaping.
Well, here's the thing: you almost want to keep the tobacco vaping around, because if you are going to try and wean cigarette smokers off of cigarettes, a device where you can control the level of tobacco you get and slowly come down off of requiring a nicotine addiction is probably a better way than saying, nope, we're getting rid of both cigarettes and vapes. Good luck. Hope the cold turkey thing goes real well for you.
Yeah. Well, that but just the insanity of like, I don't know. It's like saying, it's okay. I know what it's like. I got you here. Scott metaphor time. You guys ready?
Scottology.
Yes.
Scottology. There we go.
You're talking about, it's like sitting in a room, got the whole family gathered around you.
If this does not involve Grandma's foot, I'm going to be really bummed. But please continue.
Wait, how could I get Grandma's foot into this? Well, I'll think about it. So anyway, I'm sitting around the house there. You got all your extended family gathered around in front of you. And I'm here to complain about a bird's cage that someone owns and that it smells kind of bad. Okay? So I'm going to talk about, this is really going to be bad for us. I cannot believe we're breathing in this poor bird's, someone needs to clean that cage out. We need to ban birds from the house. While I'm saying this, though, there is a gigantic hippo.
The kitchen's on fire.
There is a hippo right next to my face. His bum side, his back end is right here next to my face. And while I'm talking about how bad this bird is, this hippo is dropping a diarrhea bomb in the middle of the living room while I'm trying to talk about how bad the bird is. But I'm ignoring this hippo right here that's taking a giant dump in front of everybody and smells like death has warmed over. And that's what it's like to me. Like, hello, look at the hippo that's right there that is actually killing your kids. Not the
It'd be
bird
really
over
easy to
there.
get this. We should clean the bird's cage as well, but maybe step one should be getting this giant hippo out of here that's dropping a
Yes.
soggy deuce on the floor.
To
Sure.
me, it's so obvious, but all these adults in their 60s and 70s who are supposed to be smart, and I know, follow the money. I know, you can get cynical about it.
Unfortunately, the hippo is paying for the house.
Yeah, I guess so.
The bird is not.
So the bird needs better lobbyists is what it needs.
Exactly. Unless Big Vape steps in and funds somebody's campaign. Tristan was a vapor for a long time. Gave it up about a week and a half ago. Tina, I think right after the first couple deaths, Tina said, "All right, I think I'm just gonna have a heart-to-heart talk with Tristan about this," and basically sat him down. Tristan listens to the show now, so I gotta.
Oh yeah, you gotta,
be
sure.
Democratic about when I talk about this, but she basically said, "Look," she sat him down and said, "Look, I didn't go through all this crap that I did to beat cancer so that I could watch you voluntarily walk down the middle of the street towards traffic and hope that you don't get hit."
Right.
Kind of thing.
Right.
And she said it a lot better than I just did.
Even
But,
if your chances are less that you'll get hit, you still are. You're still sucking shit into your
you're
lungs.
risking,
yeah, you're still at a higher
Exactly.
risk, right? Yeah,
Yep.
good on Tina.
So,
That's a great thing for Tina.
She
That's
did it with
perfect.
she involved some tears. It was good.
Yeah.
They were not strategic tears. They were genuine, like I beat cancer, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like genuine emotion.
Sure.
And he stopped. He is wolfing down gum like you wouldn't believe, but
Mhm.
until the CDC says, "Oh, we've discovered that extra long-lasting flavor Winterfresh gum has caused 11 deaths of teens who are getting off of vaping."
Yeah.
So we're going to be okay with that.
My overall take on all of that, and that's awesome because she's in the perfect position to
Yeah.
do that. Like, how do you even argue with that? That's amazing. But
Yep, exactly.
But I'm of the opinion that if you are sucking stuff into your lungs that you just cannot do without, like the gum is clearly a sign of that, right? He's like, I've got to come up with it somewhere. I assume that's like, what is that? Is it nicotine
like
or
an
what
oral fixation, probably, or
whatever it is?
I mean, it's Winterfresh gum. It's not nicotine gum or anything. But he was really. The gum is probably closer in flavor to the stuff that he was doing with the vape than nicotine or tobacco, right? It's
sure.
if they made a cotton candy flavored gum, it'd be real easy for him to switch.
But it just seems like getting away from that seems good. I think that's great. That sounds awesome to me.
So we're glad to see him kind of getting away from that.
They should
and his girlfriend is happy too.
Oh, good. And they should make Waterworld, and instead of You Ever Seen Paper, it'll be You Ever Seen Vapor, and vape will be
You
like
ever seen vapor?
You ever seen vapor?
Touch it, smell it. Smells like cotton candy. Smell it.
Oh, Kim Coates. Do you even know how much we talk about you? He probably
I
doesn't.
know exactly. We need to. I think if we ever got somebody at a Comic-Con, went up to Kim Coates and had him say, "I can definitely see why you like it," then we would basically be able to say, "All right, this show's mission is complete. Thank you for
Retirement.
listening to TMS."
Yeah. We just retire. We're out. Good night, everybody.
out.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Wow. I'm impressed with that. Tell Tina I guess she's listening, but I think that's super rad.
She's listening to me.
That is some mother ass mothering right there.
That is exactly. Don't now she needs to go, "Brian, I didn't beat cancer so that I can watch you buy 3D printers like they're going out of style."
I love it. She's got
just
this.
use that as her card, basically.
Oh my gosh, I love that. All right, let's get to. We should probably do the news here. Wendy will be here later, by the way. So some Wendy time. We don't know what that's going to be yet. She's bringing a mystery topic, so going to lay it on us like it's Christmas morning. Yeah, it's going to be great. So we'll get to that in a minute. Now this.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive, sensational summary of world and local events.
Don't forget, it's the news, and it's brought to you by.
Get your homework done for FilmSack this weekend. We're watching MI5. Yes, it's like Mission Impossible, but stars Jon Snow instead of Tom Cruise. I know nothing about this movie.
Whoa. I don't know anything about it either. I mean, it was this thing with Kit Harington, and it was in the middle of the run of Game of Thrones, so it was like his little offshoot, little movie moment. And the poster, you look at it, it says MI5. It looks like Mission Impossible 5. It looks like long-haired Tom Cruise shooting a gun. It's that blue and orange colors, all that stuff they always do.
Yep.
It's insane. So we don't know what we're getting into.
Even the letters make you think that you're seeing Mission Impossible 5.
Yeah, they really do. Everything about it. And, MI5, of course, in the UK is a very different thing, which I assume, has something more to do with their little Secret Service-y thing. But I don't know. And we won't know till we watch it. And we haven't done this in a while, where we really are going in blind. We don't know anything about this movie.
Completely. Apparently, it's called MI5 in some places, but also is Spooks: The Greater Good, which is a continuation of a British spy series.
I watched that series. Is this connected to that?
I think it is.
I watched that show. That whole thing I watched. It was good.
Yeah, but having not seen that show, is it going to be? Now I'm wondering, is it going to be an issue? Like, can we watch? What's another good example of this? Can we watch the Breaking Bad movie that's coming out next month, having never seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah,
or
that's a good
there's
question.
probably a better example of this, but
yeah, that one.
The Downton Abbey, like the Downton Abbey film that's coming out.
Right.
I've never seen a single episode of Downton Abbey. Could I walk into this movie and say, "Oh, I totally get everything that's going on and who these people are and how they're all connected"?
I'm going to say no. I think that Downton Abbey is a great example of this. I've seen it, and I think it would be weird to see that without the show. That's super weird. And also the Breaking Bad thing, same thing. Same thing with Breaking Bad. That wouldn't work either, I don't think.
Yeah, all right. So maybe we need somebody to chime in here. I'm just realizing this now. Maybe we need somebody to chime in here, because if we don't watch it, then we're watching, I think we just wedge in The Vampire's Kiss, which just landed on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, we got to watch that no matter what. I mean, I think we should do. I don't.
Okay.
The reason I think it's okay, because I've seen MI5. That's a lot less about the characters than it is the show. The show is just, it's spies and it's espionage and it's.
I mean, well, you've seen Spooks. You haven't seen MI5 the film, right?
Right, Spooks. But when I saw Spooks, it was called MI5 because they call it that here. That's the weird thing about it. It's Spooks in the UK, but it's rebranded as MI5 when I watched it on Hulu or wherever I saw it. And so,
gotcha.
I don't think it never felt like it was about character threads. And also, Jon Snow was not in that for sure. So, but there were a lot of actors you'd recognize, like Cumberbatch was in it for a bunch. This is before he got before he got big and stuff. But
Peter Firth, was he in the? Peter Firth is who I'm thinking Colin Firth. Never mind. I don't know Peter Firth.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either.
But I think, as you pointed out when we were talking about this before, it also stars Tuppence Middleton, which is the most British name.
Tuppence Middleton. It really
Tuppence
is.
Middleton.
Yeah, they should name a whole town after her, a whole village in northern England after her. Tuppence. Welcome to Tuppence Middleton.
Actually, and we've seen her in stuff. We've seen her in The Imitation Game. We've seen her in Jupiter Ascending.
Mm-hmm.
Black Mirror, she was in an episode of that.
Yeah.
Oh, she was in Sense8. Tuppence Middleton.
Here's my opinion of the only movie I've ever seen that truly could be watched on its own and did not need the TV show to get you there, although it never hurts, but it was Serenity, the Firefly movie.
That's a great example. That's a perfect example, because I can actually connect to that.
Yeah, and that movie 100% stands on its own if you need it to, but also is great if you have all the backstory. So I think it's possible. I just don't think Downton Abbey's possible. It's just too thick and it's too many storylines, and like that thing. That thing is all about like every individual character, and there are many of them. It's a whole household and servant group, and everyone else. Everyone's got their own little story thread. Like how they would make that into something that you could go watch sight unseen, it just seems impossible to me.
But you and I both can't say that it's fine to watch Serenity without watching Firefly, because we both watched Firefly before we saw Serenity.
No, I'm not. Bob said I saw the movie before I saw the show.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
you can speak from experience. I didn't realize that. You saw Serenity before you saw
I did.
Firefly.
I saw Serenity like 5 times. I've seen it 20 times, but I saw it 5 times before I saw the show, and I really loved the show. And it ended up adding to it for sure, but I love that movie on its own. Like, I just love it. It's one of my favorite movies. I freaking love that movie. It's so good.
All right. Well, then I'm all set. Give me slather me an MI5.
All right, sweet. That as long as Vampire's Kiss doesn't disappear, or I'll be pissed. That
Yeah,
needs to be.
I don't think unless Amazon all of a sudden says, "Whoa, I can't believe we put this on our streaming." No, get it off of there.
Yeah, yeah. So who did this? You're fired.
Right, exactly.
All right. Today's top news
All
story:
right.
North Alabama. Speaking of vaping, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually from yesterday, so it's not. I didn't plan this, but anyway, North Alabama school has removed bathroom stall doors to combat vaping. Now,
Oh,
before we get too deep into that little circumstance, my high school stall doors were also removed, but it wasn't for
really?
Yeah, it
to
wasn't
combat fourth period masturbation or something.
fourth period masturbation. As opposed to all the other periods that you could go.
Right. No, fourth period, man. It's like right before lunch.
Sure.
You're.
You need you need a break. You need a little relief.
Why did they take the doors off at your school?
So the rumor was, because we never got an official answer from the administration, but our understanding was that they were just being too vandalized. People were pounding them in. They were writing on them, painting on them. So the school took them out and said, well, now what are you going to do? There's no door, so have fun pooping in front of all your friends, basically. By the way, I went through the entirety of my high school career and junior high and high school, all of those years.
Oh, please.
Never pooped once at school. Not
That's what
once.
I was going to guess that you were going to say. Really?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. One time, but it was in the it was the 2 weeks I was
You get to use the.
I was suspended, and I was getting toted around by the VP, and I got to use the administration bathroom thing.
The teacher's lounge
Yeah.
toity.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Never,
So you
never pooped at school, not once.
Never pooped. Boy, Wendy's surprise topic. There's no way that it could compete with this. This, I feel like I'm gonna ask her to all right, pitch me the topic, Wendy, because I've got a counter topic. We're gonna see who wins.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it. I just made sure it was at home. If I had to at school, I'd hold it. And I could really go into camping mode when I was younger. I could really go hard and long.
Was it just because you didn't want to poop at school, or was it because the doors were off and you didn't want
Combination.
If there were stall doors, would you have been able to do it?
Maybe, but also the bathrooms are so freaking gross in school. Like high school bathrooms are a nightmare. And so it was just I didn't want to sit ever on one of those seats ever. I'd use the urinals all the time, no problem. We had the communal one at the high school where it was like a big trough. It wasn't like individual urinals. You just had a big old tray that everybody peed in.
Right.
And then, except that one, we did have one bathroom at the school that had regular stalls, because that's where that friend of mine who knew he could split his pee in two. We called him Split Pee. But he could split his pee in. Have I told this before?
Yeah, I think you have. Yes, I don't remember you mentioning that his nickname though was Split Pea.
Oh yeah, we called him Split Pea.
It's
for a
too
long
bad
time.
his name wasn't Soup, because
No.
that would be perfect.
It would have been, we should have called him Soup. That's better. But we call him Split Pea as a nickname. But it's because he could pinch himself in such a way that he could stand all like bow-legged out in front of two urinals in the center of the two urinals, and he could split it to go into both at the same time, and two perfectly formed separate streams into two urinals. And Split Pea was a weirdo. I wonder what he's doing now.
Venkman and Egon would be pleased.
I just didn't like. I don't know. I still don't like public bathrooms. Although, like, sometimes you'll end up in like a nice hotel, and their lobby bathrooms are just like glorious. I do like those.
Yeah.
Well, I just like clean things. That's all.
You really, it's just this one aspect of you that kind of has the George Costanza. You need an app to like track the best bathrooms.
Yeah, you're not
The
wrong.
best public bathrooms.
You're not wrong. It's a bit of an obsession in some cases. Although lately I give less craps, literally. But I just don't care anymore. But do you remember there's a Seinfeld episode? It's like a multi-parter where they go to India. Do you remember that? They actually filmed it in reverse. And
that was the India one. Yeah.
Yeah, and George, the whole thing was George wouldn't poop in India. He refused.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
I think that may be one of the very few episodes of Seinfeld that I've only seen once. I don't think
Oh, weird.
maybe I've seen it twice, but I haven't done I don't remember seeing that when I did a binge through of Seinfeld. It was more like just whatever was on syndication would be the most recent one I'd watch. But I don't think I've seen that more than once, that episode.
My advice is there's one episode of Seinfeld you always skip no matter what. Okay, so no matter what, this one's it's terrible.
All
and
right, hold on.
shouldn't
Let me
exist.
before you say which one it is, let me see if I can figure it out.
Yeah, see if you can guess it. I'll tell you, it's late. It's a final season episode. It's not the last episode, so it's not like a trick
Sure.
question. But it's a final season episode. There are plenty of good episodes in that season, but in there is one in particular that is just raucously bad.
Really? Okay, I can't think of it.
All right, I'm gonna find the name of it actually.
All right.
Worst Feld episode. It's got to be.
I mean, as far as like a best episode of Seinfeld, it feels like you've got, a cross between The Contest, the Chinese restaurant, the parking garage.
Oh, there's so many good ones. I mean, there's obviously
are all
way
some-
more good than bad at, ever.
Of course.
Here we go. Let's see. It's not the dog. Is it the heart attack? No. I'm trying to find it here. Sorry, the trip. Baby, this guy's got a list of the worst episodes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let's see.
Not the Marble Rye.
Oh my gosh, this guy says the worst episode is the Chinese restaurant and the second worst is the parking garage. Are you kidding?
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, you can't go by that list at
Uh-huh.
all.
Goodbye. We live in a society, I would say to him to his face.
Exactly. Come on. Those are two of the best.
All right, let me see if I can get it.
All right.
I can't remember the name of this one. All right, they're in the late final season or somewhere in the middle of it. They end up trying to get to a baseball game or a marathon or something. I forget. But the important part is it's the one where Elaine ends up underneath the bleachers, and they make it seem like she's down there having to eat food from under the bleachers and live with like mole people.
Like living like a troglodyte, living under the bleachers.
It's that entire episode is abysmal. It's not funny. It's not anything. It's just the most paint by numbers garbagey poop ever. And it's hard to say that because there's so much I love about Seinfeld.
I'm barely remembering that one as well. All right, it's time for me. I think as soon as I finish, I've got 2 or 3 episodes left of Enterprise. Maybe my break. I was on a break.
Yeah.
That's friends. But, like merging my must-see TV there.
Oh, I found the name. Sorry. That's the episode, so you can really avoid it. The Puerto Rican Day Parade. It's in season 9. That's the name of the thing. Let's see. Oh no, that's not the one.
Where you find because that's the one where Kramer gets the chest of drawers that has the recipe, all the soup Nazi recipes.
Yep,
in it.
I'm wrong. That's a good one. That's
is a
not.
good one.
I screwed that up. Where is it then? Is it the
And the
outing?
two gay guys who want to take the dresser from Kramer and
Oh, I just can't find it.
love it.
Oh, they don't like the Chinese woman one? I love that one. Where George's mom.
Donna Chang.
Yeah, I love that one. Whatever. These
Donna
lists are
Chang-
these lists are
Changstein?
shit.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, exactly.
This is no good. Anyway, North Alabama would like to stop people from vaping, so they took the walls off, doors off.
Did we make it past one sentence of that?
We got the headline. That's all.
We got the headline. I love it.
Yeah. then we went on a trip. No, I love that one. The one where he goes, "Who doesn't want to wear the ribbon?" That's a good one. That one's all right because Kramer refuses to wear the AIDS ribbon. Anyway,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All right, this is great because you got to see this picture.
Okay. All right.
A man who looks like Breaking Bad's Walter White wanted by police on meth charges of all things.
Of course. Okay.
I gotta post this for the chat as well. Okay, you gotta see this guy, chat room. This guy right here.
Oh, holy cow!
It looks like a really rough one too.
He did yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's seen better days.
Wow.
It says a man wanted by police in Illinois. The whole thing's gone viral because of his uncanny resemblance to Walter White, the methamphetamine dealing protagonist in the hit TV series Breaking Bad. Much like Bryan Cranston's Walter White, aka Heisenberg, the man named Todd W. Barrick Jr. Is even wanted on meth charges, specifically for violating his parole from earlier methamphetamine possession charges, reports the local station. Police in Galesburg, Illinois, shared his mugshot on Facebook on September 3rd, and the photo was immediately inundated with comments about the felon's eerie similar resemblance to Walter White.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, look
I like that Cranston tweeted, Officers, I swear it wasn't me. As you can see, I was in New York.
It's really, really uncanny. I love that though. Anyway, I had to make sure to get that one in today. Let's see. Yeah.
Is he? Oh, okay, never mind. No, that was the David Schwimmer one. Never mind. I was thinking that was
right.
the. I thought that Cranston pulled a Schwimmer and basically did the same tweet.
Oh, was that the Schwimmer one then?
That was the Schwimmer one.
That's the Schwimmer tweet. Yeah.
The guy who looked like Schwimmer.
Cranston should do one too then. That's what I think.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's not the guy. I am the one who knocks.
I'm the one who knocks. I mean, this guy looks like he got high on his own supply. That's the problem with this guy.
Yeah. Is there purple and pink in his beard, or is that just a bad lighting in the mugshot thing?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Or did he fall asleep in a bowl of Trix?
Trix is for meth heads. I don't know. That is weird. It's a weird shade of purple under his neck. Maybe he dyed it or something. He really should trim up. I mean, he's shaved everything else. Get that neck, fix that neck problem. You got a neck beard problem there, buddy.
I think I don't know if it's a neck beard or if it's just the fact that his beard is scraggly and out there. Like,
oh yeah, yeah, you're right. He's got a very faded Harley Davidson tattoo on his chest. You see that there?
Yep. And then Forrest or Torrance or
I can't tell.
He's
a huge Forrest Gump fan.
If you're gonna do the old English type, make it legible so we can read it and see what you're a fan of.
We live in a society. Can't write. Nobody answer. I hang up. All right, let's move on. Hey, check this out. A Texas Monthly. That's the name of the paper. It's a national magazine sort of thing.
Texas Monthly, sure.
They have created a new job that I want. It's called the taco editor. Yeah.
Okay.
It bills itself.
Taco editor.
Yes. It bills itself as the national magazine of Texas. Says it is so focused on covering all things Lone Star that its masthead lists a barbecue editor. It also has correspondents who cover the rural life blues and a columnist who explains Western chic and the do's and don'ts of boots, that sort of thing. But this year, they've added a new position, now occupied by Jose R. Relat, who began to work at the paper or at the magazine September 18th as the nation's first taco editor.
That's great.
Yeah.
I thought I was a taco editor because when I go to Taco Bell, I unwrap the taco, I grab all the cheese off the top, then I pull the lettuce out, and then I replace the cheese where it sits on the meat and starts melting in the meat. Then I replace the lettuce.
Wait,
I thought I was that made me a taco editor.
I think that just makes you
pedantic.
No, not pedantic. It makes you. What would you call somebody? You have that's like an ADD thing. It's like a
OCD. Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
I don't really do that.
Done
No,
that.
I really have never done that.
I want to do that. And
again,
see what
Scott. Let me reiterate. I don't taste the food. I just eat the food.
You just go.
Somebody found the gif of the lady from V swallowing a guinea pig.
Oh, someone repost that. I want to see that.
There it is, right there. Third Illusion had it handy. Yeah.
Okay.
It's so bad. It is so bad.
Let me see. Let me put that. This is the old one, right? The '80s one.
This is the old one, yes, where basically they had a mask or a thing made of Jane Balder's head or Badler.
Yeah.
Jane Badler, I think, and they just basically had a stretchy skin mouth opening that they just basically had a dude move the chin down while another one
and she doesn't blink because she's not real. I love it.
Right, exactly. Yes. There's no other movement on that face except for the
You know what I like about it is she starts to jam it in. Watch the jaw. It actually goes longer after a second. It's like, oh, not big enough. A little bit more.
Right.
A little bit at the end. Oh, that's so good.
That poor guinea pig had to go through that.
Oh, I know, right? He's just a poor little dude. All right, well, that was amazing.
I think Morena Baccarin did that in the new one, in the new V. I'm sure they redid that scene just because somebody finds.
Yeah, it was something like that though. But it was like a different animal or something, or she.
Yeah. But I feel like they did have to recreate that. that scene.
Marina.
The show was V, and I think the new one was called V, the new batch, or V, the next generation.
Okay, I'm gonna look.
V, this time it's personal.
I'm gonna look this. Miranda background and Ben McKenzie are married. Okay, we don't care about that. Yeah, I can't find anything. If anyone else can find that, that would be awesome. If we could have dueling gifs of the two ladies eating rodents, that'd be something else.
Love it.
All right then. There's that.
Yeah. Talk Redditor.
Yeah, let's talk about this KFC thing. So,
Okay.
KFC apparently wants to get into gaming. They clearly don't want to get into decent tasting chicken. So let's get into gaming.
Exactly. They're kind of doing the hippopotamus butt and the smelly bird cage situation.
They absolutely are.
Where should we focus our money?
Food? No. Gaming and esports. You think
That's
I'm
right.
kidding, but here's how it works. They're moving into the world of video games. The brainchild of Colonel Sanders, KFC, might be the last brand you'd associate with gaming. It sure would be. But anyway, they want to test the waters. Back in August of 2018, KFC made a Twitter account called KFC Gaming with its bio reading, "Finger clickin' good." Yeah, you heard me. Finger clickin' good.
Clicked in good. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Let's just let that soak in for a second. The account is likely targeted at roping in gamers by posting video game related tweets and thereby marketing KFC to them. Yet, throughout the summer, KFC Gaming seems to have been ramping up its marketing. They recently ran a World Cup of Games competition on Twitter, asking its followers to vote for their favorite game. Well, that's stupid. That's just asking for people to vote for a thing on Twitter. That's not like
Right.
a big
That's
deal.
just doing a poll. I can do that in Nextdoor.
You can do that now. Yeah. No kidding. Oh, we had a kid. We had a next door freak out here a week ago. I forgot to tell you about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
there was a grandma's granddaughter who was 9 went missing, and she reported it on there, and it freaked everybody out. Everybody was mobilizing. What can we do? Who's talked to the
Right,
authorities?
right.
Let's get out there and comb the area and do all this stuff. And at the very bottom, she goes, "It's good. We found her. She was just up the road. Everything's fine. Thanks, everybody." And meanwhile, everybody had gone nuts to try to track this girl down.
Carrying torches and the dogs running down the.
Yeah, totally. Some guys on. Well, we need to check out.
Oh, she was in her room. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. She was taking a shit. All right.
Yeah.
So that was that. Anyway, so now the winner got their Rainbow Six Siege game there, and then the turnout from the community was huge. We'll have to put another, or do we want to do another reward? A couple of days ago, the same account posted a tweet in a video. It read, "September 23rd, stay tuned." So everyone mark your calendars on the 23rd. KFC's up to something. Don't know what.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, so I'm giving you an article to there's more to the story. Scott.
Breaking news.
The KFC dating simulator is coming to Steam on the 24th.
Oh my Lord. This is real.
This is real.
Oh, wow. Look at that, Colonel Sanders. Okay, chat. This is why you want to be here live. You get to see the visuals. Look at this. Look at this. Check him out. He's looking all sexy and whatnot there.
Yeah, in his red apron. He's a slimmed down 20-something Colonel Sanders
with a purposefully gray beard and mustache.
right. Yes.
Very-
Right. It's implied that he dyes it to be hipster.
He's
Sure.
also, his arms are too long. Just from a proportion issue. Do you see how long those arms are? It's not good.
All right.
I don't trust the Colonel Sanders with long arms.
Well, no.
There is a trailer for this, is there?
Yeah, if you go to the Steam page, the trailer for "I Love You, Colonel Sanders," a finger-licking good dating simulator. Which,
oh, here's the music.
If
Check
that-
it out.
yeah.
This is bad. Is there any words? Give me some words.
no, I think it's just the music.
Oh, I was hoping for some words.
Yeah,
That's too bad. Okay, this is a legit game. It's coming out on the 24th.
it's a legit game. Yes.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of dating simulators, but sure. Why not?
I just think I'm not a fan of a finger-licking good dating simulator. I think
Finger clicking good, Brian.
no, this is finger-licking on this one.
Oh, wait, does it say that?
Finger-clicking would be better,
Ooh.
but yes.
Don't like it.
I'm in the mood for some finger licking dating. That sounds like a good time.
Sidian just said it's marketing and it's working. He's right.
Well, of course.
Look what we're doing. We're talking about this thing. Like we're literally doing the thing they thought we'd do.
They basically said, how can we get people to stop talking about that effing Popeye's chicken sandwich?
Finally, a strategy that even the Colonel would love.
That's right.
It's awesome. All right. Well, they can send us checks.
Popeye's going to come back. Oh, yeah, we've created a nuclear weapon. How about that? Come on, put us back in the news.
Enjoy. I need to check that place out again, see if they got any chicken back in stock. It's got to be calming down by now.
We have our voice on the inside, don't we?
Oh yeah, right. He can let us know. Hey, guy that works at Popeyes with the anonymous name, tell us what's going on. Can I go in? Should I wait? What's the deal? All right, let's take
Rainbow Bright says no, not yet.
Oh, well, great. Let's take a break. When we come back, Wendy will be here. She is going to talk all about something that she hasn't told us about. So it's very exciting. We don't know. It's like Christmas morning here on TMS. Before that, though, a musical selection from Brian Ibbett, connoisseur of fine music.
We're going to go to Switzerland for this artist. This is a guy that we've played before on the show a few months ago, but this is also on the brand new album by an artist or band who goes by the name Rio Glacier. The album is called Out of Tune. This is the title track. I guess you don't want to name if you're a musician, do you want to really name your album Out of Tune?
I wouldn't.
It feels like,
it
feels like, I don't know, naming your boat Full of Holes or something like that. I christen thee Sinks Easily.
Sinks Easy. I love it.
Here's the title track. This is Rio Glacier and the tune Out of Tune.
It's not about who has the biggest beard. It's about who has the best technique.
Not even a man's wife can hear the wee, small voice of a man's inner self.
The Morning Stream. Shut up, baby, I know it.
Welcome back, everybody, to the program. We are happy to be here. All right, Wendy.
Yes.
Wendy time.
Yeah, sounds good.
Wendy time.
I think my 3D print is not working. Hold on, cancel.
Oh, no, you're fine. You do what you got to do there.
Hello.
Oh, hello. It's Wendy and Dunford. Hello. How are you?
Hi.
You always like it.
My middle name.
You like it when I use your whole name all the time.
Weird.
Yeah, it's kind of I'm kind of doxing you a little bit. I don't mean to do that, but
yeah.
Do you like it? Do you wish I'd do it
No.
more? Oh, okay. Well,
no, I don't.
Here's your
Scott Blaine Johnson.
Totally, that's my name. I am out there, baby.
You should wear it out.
Yep. Check this out.
No, I want divorce.
All right, that's Wendy, and that means it's time for Wendy. Something about a divorce. I don't know what that was. Hey, it was some old clip you did. I don't know. Here, I'll play it again.
Nice.
Check it out.
No, I want divorce.
See?
See?
Terrible.
You sound a little like Grandma did. Grandma Wilson.
Totally.
Yeah.
Let's just end. We're getting a divorce. See?
Oh, no, this is the one I usually play.
Something wrong, Batman? Has anybody seen Wendy?
There you go. That's your real theme. Hey, Wendy's here, and here's what's fun about today. We didn't plan and we didn't coordinate a topic. You said to me, "Oh, well, I got something," and now I'm all excited. It's like a weird birthday party or something. Here, we're gonna have like this big reveal from Wendy.
I mean, sad that your life is this lame.
This will be about lame lives and the people who lead them. So we'll get that in a second, but a reminder that since the show's inception, Wendy has been here. She's my sister, in full disclosure, but she's also a licensed therapist and helps people all the time with real problems. What does she do here? She slums it with us and helps you with yours. Sometimes they're topics, sometimes they're emails, sometimes they're calls, but today it's a mystery topic, and you're going to lay it on us like a hot dog in a bun. What do you got there? What are you giving us today?
Hot dog in a bun. Okay. Well, I decided I would go back in the archives to dig around, see what I could find. I had a couple different ideas, but, sometimes those are good. Sometimes I'm like, this is just my crazy thoughts. I'm not going to maybe share them. Okay. Anyway, but I found an email from a long time ago. So it's really untimely. However, I think the topic itself is interesting, and maybe they've figured it out because it was a year and a half ago.
Maybe they're still waiting. Maybe they're sitting around going, man, I cannot wait until she answers my email.
I doubt it. When I read it to you, you'll realize this. Anyway, so if this person is out there and they have, figured out some things, it'd be fun to hear what they have to say. But I think it's a valuable question because I think it will creep up in everyone's life at some point, even though it starts right here in kindergarten. So here we go.
Okay.
Hey, Wendy. I have a 6-year-old finishing up kindergarten this month. So this was June 2018. So now this kid's in 2nd grade.
All right. Yeah, they're all grown up now. That's what's happening.
Yeah, they're basically in college now. Anyway, all year long, we've gotten notes about him not being able to focus on the work in class. He knows the material, aces his tests, but when it comes time to work quietly, he sits there and daydreams. Because of this, we recently had him tested for any behavioral problems, and doc says he's got ADHD. Now, my wife and I have to deal with the decision to medicate him or not. We want him to do well in school this coming year, and if we did medicate him, Oh, this is hard when you do this. I see. And if we did medicate him.
I see, Dewey, that it's sometimes tricky to read these people's emails. I see. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
All right.
It's genetic.
With the decision to medicate him or not, we want him to do well in school this coming year. And if we did medicate him, would use this summertime trying to find the right dosage of medication. The concern is not wanting to lose the spark that makes him who he is.
Yeah.
At this point, we're at about the mindset of medication might be necessary in order to teach him the behavioral techniques that would help him focus. Basically, using medication as a temporary measure until he learns how to focus. Without it, then wean him off the medication. Does this sound like a viable approach? Are there other methods that could be taken? Why is there not a do-over option available when parenting your kid in case you make a big decision like this wrong? Thank you for your help. This guy has an awesome name that is also the name of a famous person, but it's definitely not that famous person.
Oh.
Thank you, Brad Pitt.
Yes, Mr.
For your email.
Mr. Pitt. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, not him.
Yeah.
Someone definitely more interesting. Anyway,
wow.
I mean, Brad Pitt's fine. Don't get me wrong, but he's not that interesting.
Yeah.
Dear Therapy Thursday. Know your doses.
Know your doses.
Oh boy. All right. Okay. So.
Nice reference.
Okay.
Sorry.
I read this. You guys have not had a kindergarten in a long, long time.
Yeah.
But this question of here's a kid's spark, here's a diagnosis, here's a medication. What do we do? I would assume this is their first kid. By the end of the last kid, you're just like, whatever, give him crack as long as he gets good grades, whatever.
Right.
But what's your thoughts just out of the gate?
Well, I can tell you that from, so this wasn't ADD medication or anything like that. It wasn't behavioral, but when Taylor had her seizures and the doctor said, we'd like to put her on this medication. And I asked, to help with the seizures. And I asked, well, I thought you said these could be temporary and that they're, they were called focal juvenile seizures that happen during puberty and that they would probably go away and it's not that uncommon. And he said, well, that's true, but we don't know for sure. And this medication will stop them. And I said, so my brain was like, oh, stop seizures. That sounds awesome. But then I said, well, what's the side effects? He says, well, we could permanently, she could be permanently sterile. She'd never be able to have kids, probably. Or there's a high likelihood or something. And I went, oh, well, that seems like suddenly this got to be a huge life choice. This is a huge deal. Do we as her parents put her at risk for this? Or do we handle this the way we've been handling it, which was we were handling it, like it was happening. When it was happening, we were there for her. We were always watchful of it. We always made sure everything was okay. Like that sort of thing. So we basically trusted in the diagnosis that, yes, this was temporary and said no to the medication. And as a result, she did get over them. She quit having them. And now she's got a, little baby boy, and that's awesome. So I feel like we made the right decision there. There's got to be cases like that though, where people go the way we did and it was the wrong one. Someone's got a lifetime of like epilepsy or worse things or.
Yeah. I mean, your first instinct is to say, oh, well, whatever the doctor says is the right thing. So we're going to go with what the doctor tells us.
Right.
I guess my thinking would be, do you get a second opinion in a case like this where it's like, oh, do we want to go right to medication or do we want to maybe see if there's some alternative way of solving this where we're not, getting the kid addicted
But
to.
problem is the parents don't necessarily see because Brian's 100% right about this. So if they do say, well, we should try other things, that's when it becomes like, well, the doctor's not telling you other things. He's just, well, there's the medication and that's my recommendation if you want to get a second. And like, they don't really have an alternative to like behavioral stuff, or they're not paying attention to that. Or if they're good, maybe they do and they have a referral to make or whatever. But it seems like the easy thing is just, here, take this medication, and then when they get older, maybe they can get off of it. And that seems, I don't know, my opinion is that seems like a too easy of a way out, and you should probably do something else. I don't know.
Right. And I think you both sort of are pointing to a thing that I think is pretty important. And my goal in talking about this today is not about telling people to take medication or not, but to empower them a little bit to be their own advocates in this, in receiving medical care or mental health care, right? Which is, we have the white coat syndrome where you're like, okay, the dude in the coat with the gray hair or whatever, whatever it is that does it for you. Hopefully you're seeing a variety of doctors. They don't all look that way, but that they, you just go with it. Like, oh, they know, so they're telling me this. And yes, they hate when you come in having Googled a bunch of things because it's frustrating because there is bad information out there. However, in that office space, Scott, your example is a great one of just asking more questions. And sometimes, go to a website and type in like, what questions do I ask at this appointment? And you're going to find a lot of pretty reputable, that word, people saying, hey, ask about this, ask about this. So getting yourself really informed, because here's where my concern is with this kid. And this generally is applying to all parents worried about their kid with anything, is a quick check of you, right? Like, all right, this kid he's describing as he quietly sits there and daydreams. So we're not looking at potentially a hyperactive,
right,
or even a very impulsive, but more of the distracted type, right? And so let's take a kid who's the opposite of that. And I hung out with one recently, and it was painful. I mean, it was like watching a ball bounce around a room. I've actually never seen it that intense before. And if you're the kind of person, like maybe me, where I need you to chill, and so I've got to check myself as the parent. What is my problem here with this kid? And it sounds like these parents, they just have this lovely, sweet boy, and then he goes off to school, and the school setting creates a place where sort of his daydreaming is not tolerated in the way it probably should be in childhood, right?
Yeah.
And so you can ask yourself, is this just a daydreamer? Now they get him tested, all right, and we can see that he's more distractible, or there's some other things going on, which is going to make school hard. And so you got to ask yourself, like, what's my beef with this? And it sounds like they don't want to kill any spark in the kids, so they find him delightful. That's my take, right? Or at least what I'm reading. Whereas if he were running all over the place, another parent might be like, all I need is to be able to sleep, or to have a minute where I'm not worried he has a knife and he's going to harm another person because he's running around with it, So you check yourself first. What's your deal here? Often there is some familiar things happening. It's not all genetic, but often you got a parent with a little bit of ADD going on.
They just kind of, following. It's like, all right, what worked for me, or things that weren't around at the time that you were a kid. This is totally, by the way, the daydreaming kid was totally me in school, by the way.
Same.
Right.
Yeah, that was me too.
Okay, so your dad
surprise to nobody.
Yeah.
Surprise to nobody. So I have a question about that, actually. So your dad is Mr. Dr. Pants. So I don't know
he actually is Mr. Dr. Pants.
He
Yes,
is Mr. Dr. Pants.
His official title.
Yeah.
Which means he worked his tail off in school and probably focused a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did he manage to understand you as a daydreamer? Do you, or am I digging into a really sore wound here? Sorry.
No. I mean, it's sadly more of a situation where, because my mom and dad got divorced when I was really young, so this would have fallen more onto my mom. And I'll be honest, I don't remember any intervention on my parents' part about my daydreaming in school. I remember it being a problem and the teachers getting involved and, going to the principal's office and, Brian, you got to start paying more attention. You know this stuff. You're a super smart kid. You do really well on the test, but it's, I can tell that, when you're in class, or your teacher can tell that it's not where you want to be, and that sort of thing.
Oh my god! As much as Brian and I have a lot in common and everything, I didn't realize we had such a common childhood. That was so me the whole time, including the visits to the principal, including the parents getting called in and being there. Ugh.
I think there's something to be said for the freedom to daydream in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
90s, right? There was not a label slapped on you, and there was not the intervention was pretty minimal, and y'all survived, right? But I think there's just a general anxious parenting model now, which is catch it early, and there's good reasons for this.
Right.
It's no one's to blame, but essentially, like, if you catch it early, you're gonna have better outcomes, and that's really true. But I think unfortunately, with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is that it's weirdly overdiagnosed and underdiagnosed. And then what happens is, maybe this kid, he's meeting all this criteria and he's a dreamer, and you put him on some medication. Typically, a stimulant is what they do. They do have non-stimulant versions, Ritalin, Adderall, all of those different things. There's all sorts of stuff, because there are kids who absolutely need this. And then there are kids that it's in that gray area and you're not sure. And so he could try something out, see what happens, see if he loses the spark, see if, because there are some kids, it just kind of changes them a little too much, and it's not great. There's other kids, they become literally their best selves. They feel great. They have social connections that finally work, and all sorts of good things happen. But I would argue that, the hesitation is a good one to stop, because we tend to over-medicate in the United States. Yeah. You're this, here's the thing. And if you don't ask more questions and ask about the side effects and pay attention, we do a lot of just, maybe we're busy and we just believe the person in the white coat. We take the pill, it's supposed to solve our problem. And often it just can exaggerate that. At one point, I had a client come in on 14 medications, and I'm trying to figure out what she's taking and why. And I think 10 of them were to deal with the side effects from the 4. I mean, it was insane.
Right. Took these 4 for solving the problem, then took the other, 10 for solving the problems caused by
it's like when you bring an animal from some other part of the world. It's like, oh, this bird is not native to here, but we love this bird, so we're bringing this bird here. But you forgot that bird eats a certain bug, and we need that bug for these trees to survive. Now those bugs are dead and the trees are dying. Well, what do? Bring in snakes from the Amazon. They'll take care of it. Oh shit, the snakes have eaten all the dogs. It's like that thing where you just have to keep capping it. Yeah, it's annoying.
You just and that's the thing about, at least my rule of thumb, is you always try a behavioral route first. And these guys, I mean, it doesn't sound like they've had a lot of behavior problems with him. It's not till he gets to school that suddenly it's like, oh, he's not paying attention. And there's something to be said for how school is run. I don't know what that class is like, but I know what my second graders class is like now. Every kid is sitting on a wobbly chair because they have these little cool, it's essentially Ritalin for your bum. You just sit and move a little bit, and your brain's like, "Whoa, cool! It's like has something to kind of balance and focus on." They all have rock hard abs now, and
working on their core.
And they move around the room a lot. There's this rest period that it's a brand new classroom. They built it on the school and remodeled some stuff over the summer, and it's this brand new classroom that takes all of the science into consideration. And I mean, the joy. I watched kids last year in a different setting because it was a different kind of classroom, without bright sunlight. Now they've got this big window. They were in the inner part of the building, just struggle. And I'm watching this year, everybody thriving. It's amazing. Kids I thought were ADD, or maybe not. And maybe they're medicated. I don't know. Of course, I'm not looking at everyone's charts, but just the observation, you've changed the environment a little bit. You've changed some teaching style a little bit. You're working with what naturally a second grade or a kindergarten body needs, which is to move around maybe more than sit still and listen and answer. We've got a pretty dated model in a lot of classrooms that is maybe not tackling the needs of a bunch of different kids.
Oh,
So
man.
look at the environment, look at the school, look at the behavior, look at, find out what the kid thinks. Ask him what he's thinking about. Like, do lots of different things before you put him on a pretty significant drug. And what you may find is that nothing kind of works. And then what you can do is give it a try. I think what happens, I've had recent conversations with clients about they've tried lots of things. It's time to try medication. A few that are elite athletes. So they have always had this formula that's worked for them, which is I put A in my body, I exercise, I do all the things, my mental health should be fine. And it's not. And so we're getting to there's some chemical stuff we need to alter in order to help you. And it is torture because that's not what they want to do. And a lot of us are raised that way. Maybe it's the messaging from our parents. And then on some level, we're all right that we shouldn't just be taking drugs all the time, right? So our guts are not wrong. But there does come a moment where you've kind of checked all the boxes of trying all the things and then be willing to give something a shot and know that it's not forever.
Right.
So these are adults I'm talking about, but both of these adults I'm referring to said, it feels like if I do this, I have to do this forever. They're actually afraid it will work. And then now they are
they're locked in.
Yeah, they're locked into this thing that isn't them and their willpower and their, all of the sort of things they pride themselves in, especially as athletes, that suddenly I'm cheating or I'm getting help somehow that it's not fair. I didn't work for it. And so everyone's got their own reasons for this. But in both cases, I've had to talk to them about, you do a 6-month experiment. By 6 months, the antidepressant kicks in, if it's working or not. And then meet again, figure out if this is is it that different? What are your side effects? I don't tell everyone to be a science experiment, but a little bit, because it's tricky to know. Because here's the concern I have for this kid going down, the road is, how do teachers respond to him? How do other kids respond to him? Because you're getting this feedback all the time. And if you're in a forest school where you're just running around cutting down trees, you're going to do really well as a hyperactive kid. And your feedback's going to be, well, you chopped down 80 trees when everyone else chopped down 20. You're going to feel successful. But the current system, at least that I'm familiar with a lot of typical schools, is the value is put on the kid who knows the answer and raises their hand and sits still and does the reading and all the focus requiring behaviors.
That annoys me. I like a giant amen to the idea that that's a dated model, because why do we ever expect that a 5-year-old kid could sit still? That's not what they're supposed to do. Physiologically, you're asking them to go against what they are at that time in their life.
Right.
That should be that. Oh, that annoys me because that bugs me because it's institutional, right? It's not a thing you can just a parent go, oh, you know what, we're going to change that. Let's let Billy, have bum riddling or whatever, and let's have him freak out and have a little bit of exercise before he has to do anything where he has to focus. Instead, the schools are like, Billy, I told you not to make any sound. We want to go to the thing. Can I go to the bathroom? You can, but you may not. What is wrong with adults?
I think we've tapped into some of your old stuff, Scott.
I think you've unloaded the waterfall here.
Yeah.
Well, and it's true, Scott. You're actually a great example of how a system would have failed you if you didn't have teachers that were flexible and open and willing, good teachers, right? Yeah. You had your science teacher who loved your art and had you draw pictures for him instead of dissecting your cat like you were supposed to or whatever. Yeah. You had others who could appreciate and see you for what you had to offer and worked with that. But here's the thing. So we can be frustrated by the institutionalized blah of it, but so much has changed and there's a lot of good stuff out there. So here is my main political punch would be if we pay our teachers better, if we give them the resources, they're going to do the kind of teaching they want to do. They're going to figure out how to make a classroom the best place for each of the kids, because there will always be a kid in the classroom raising their hand and wanting the sitting down and wanting the right. I mean, There are kids who thrive in that environment too. And so there is got to be a variety. There's got to be flexibility. And you can't have 40 kids in a room. You just can't. And the only way to do it is to have enough teachers, you pay them well, and there you go. Everyone pay your property taxes. Go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if we can just sum up what I would say to them is there is something to be said about trusting your gut as a parent and getting good information. So ask lots of questions, reach out to other people whose kids are, having similar challenges. Find out if your doctor cannot answer any of your questions, then you need to talk to somebody else. Because often what happens is you're going to your pediatrician, and whether they specialize in ADHD or not, they're going to know enough about it, but they may not be knowledgeable enough to help you. They may just know that, oh, well, I hand out this medication and we'll see how it goes.
This is the one we always hand out, so this is what we're going to give you.
Yeah. And I've mentioned this place before. It's the Attention Clinic. It's in Salt Lake. They do, and I'm sure there's these kinds of things everywhere. At least there should be, but they scan your brain while you're doing different focusing activities. And they can show you what happens to your brain when you are required to recall something, when you're required to sit still, all of the stuff that folks with ADHD struggle with. And you can see your brain next to a neurotypical brain. So you can go, oh, okay, that's what's happening. And so if we tested this kid's brain, we might see that, or we might also just see that his imagination centers are just big and excited and doing their thing. And this is a phase in his life, and school will come. I don't know. That's the thing is I wish there was some definitive answer, which is ultimately what's so hard about being a parent is we care so much. We want it to work so well. We want them to thrive. We want them to do well. And yet at various stages, they're going to not do well for various reasons.
Right.
So sometimes we push ourselves into that equation in such a big way that now we've pathologized all of it and our relationship with that kid, when really he's just a daydreamer.
Yeah.
Or really he's just really energetic and needs to play a little football. Or maybe that classroom could be adjusted. And I think good teachers and good school districts and educators and good doctors, they know this stuff. You just need to make sure you're finding people who will give you clear answers and that remind you that you can trust yourself, because you know this kid better than anybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you the
and
one?
this do-over thing, like we all make mistakes, right? We all make mistakes. This is not the biggest life decision you'll ever make in regard to this child. It's an experiment to see what's helpful for him. It doesn't mean he has to take it for the rest of his life. You got to lower the price here. It is not as big as you think. And you have some time. You're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Okay.
Yeah. This reminds me, actually, it's funny. This is totally reminding me of a TED Talk you sent me ages ago by that Ken Robinson guy. Do schools kill creativity? And it touches on a ton of this stuff. These kinds of things. Like a kid who's the daydreamer, you assume he's the slacker or he's the whatever from traditional teaching, but really he might be the next big brain. You just don't know it. Like you have to figure out ways to cultivate each kid and that sort of thing. If people haven't heard this or seen this TED Talk, it's really fantastic. It's titled, if you just Google it, Do Schools Kill Creativity, or Ken Robinson TED Talk or something in that range, you'll find it. That guy's awesome. It's been a while since I've seen it. I'll probably watch it again. But anyway.
Well, and things, fortunately, have changed. At least my experience of what my first kids were doing in kindergarten and first and second grade, and what I'm seeing now, there's like new things are happening, and there's some really good stuff. And yet there's this sort of thing we do where we either straight up believe the doctor and don't ask any questions, and we relegate that decision to someone else a little bit, or kind of the opposite, which I'm just going to throw a little caveat warning, that you think you know everything. And so you're just going to assume because you read a blog post about this thing and that it's the reason all kids are blah, 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 just anything that's too, what is the word? Conspiratorial, maybe. And so then it hits this part of you that goes, yeah, oh yeah, of course, it's all a conspiracy. I'm just going to give my kid food that's all pink and it won't happen. Actually, that's the opposite. Food without coloring or, whatever it is. And so you go extreme in some other direction. And there's lots of kids that will suffer because a parent can't figure out their own garbage to get somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle lies the best help for the kid. And it may not ever be medication. It also might. And this is true of adults. This doesn't change. We get to be adults and suddenly we're like, we're not doing well. And okay, so this medication really helps me, but I hate it all the time. So finding peace, this is the challenge of sort of modern life is we all want something natural, but smearing butter on stuff doesn't fix it either. And yet taking all big pharma's everything is also not a so
Right.
so it's really a hard time to parent in this regard, but information's your friend, and support and talking to other people, and also sort of making sure your kid is actually thriving, not just that he looks good in school or so you got to check your own stuff.
Does this stuff in this place that scans your brain in Salt Lake, do they do adults as well? Just whoever?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's who I send there. I don't work with kids because I have kids. I used to, but no.
I mean, you work with kids all right.
You get enough of that, yeah.
I have enough of that. I used to actually work with teenagers a lot more, and I'm still pretty comfortable with like older teenagers, but now that I have real teenagers, I'm like, okay, now I know nothing, so no.
Yeah.
Like I can't do it.
Yeah,
so maybe one day I'll return to kids when my kids are older, but they take a certain.
It'd be
kind of
funny if
energy.
you couldn't do anyone who will be the age, the continuing parallel growing age of your kids. So when your kids are like 30, you won't be able to do anybody who's 30.
Or life stages, kind of depending on whatever life stage they're in. I'll be like, ooh, you remind me of my child. No.
That's hilarious.
No, we will see on that. But so adults go in. I've sent a number of people, and I forgot to mention this. So they also there do this, and other places will do this. It's called biofeedback, and essentially they hook your brain up, and you get to see your breathing, your heart rate, the activity of your brain, and you actually can train your brain to behave a little differently. And the way we do it is you're watching it in real time happening, and you're learning how to control it with your breath and with your thinking, and it's pretty awesome. So it's like going to a gym for your brain. So that is a definite non-invasive, non-drug route, and I'm not sure what they have for kids in that regard, but that would be something to check out. The other thing to do, just real quick, with these kids is, I've never met a kid with ADHD who is not also super smart. I'm sure there's comorbid situations where ADD with other disabilities and various things happen, but often you have really bright kids, and so sometimes it's boredom, right? And so figuring that out, are they just not being challenged? And it, they're just going faster, their brain's just moving faster, and so being an investigator of like, how does my kid actually work, can be a really powerful way to understand this. Because in the United States, we are incredibly motivated by what our kids do. We are very proud they do this, and we love when they do stuff early and when they make us look good and blah, blah, blah. So that's the check your garbage at the door situation. But really figure out how your kid operates. I've had one kid similar, just like getting rejected by peers and depressed and all sorts of things. And we discovered there was ADD at the core, but then there were some very specific, strange learning disabilities. So there was this visual learning disability where she could not see, like she looked at a screen, her mind would kind of block out words. This happened with paper. So imagine going to school when just a bunch of words kind of go missing from a paper.
Oh, wow.
And so once we discovered that and figured out that she needed mainly auditory learning and hands-on kinds of things. She ended up being valedictorian of her high school class.
Wow.
Like incredible, because she's so bright, but she was starting to think something was really wrong and she was broken and that she was worthless. Well, no, she just had this weird glitch that you can accommodate, and she thrived. And so, that's another thing to throw out there, as if this diagnosis gets thrown at your kid, just double check for other learning disabilities or anything else that might be going on. Usually it's the kids with the behavioral challenges that get the most attention because they're the hardest to deal with or whatever.
Sure.
But there could be other things happening, and you're just helping figure out the kind of learner that your kid is.
Yeah. And the quiet ones are not always serial killers. Sometimes we're just daydreaming.
No.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're just daydreaming.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's about daydreaming about serial killing.
Yeah, sometimes it's about where I'm going to bury the body this weekend. Sometimes
I
it's
still
Way
say
to
it's the
turn
vaping.
this.
The vaping is the one. Yeah.
yeah,
It's the vaping that's doing
the
it.
vaping. It's all about the vapors. All right. Well, this has been great. I really liked your surprise topic today. I think it'll probably be very helpful to everybody.
I'm good at those. And
Yeah.
I have something to pimp that is so sort of related.
Oh, pimp it then. Pimp.
Yeah, I'm gonna pimp it. This is for a friend of mine. She's one of my favorite people. She is like super hilarious and she's just amazing. Anyway, she had, I don't know if it started with a dream or something, like a literal dream, but she just like woke up like, I gotta make these things. So she makes these bags. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the website.
All right.
For Keeps bags.
For
keeps.
bags.
For keeps, you know, like you gotta keep it. For Keeps bags.
.com.
.com.
Okay.
And she sews these bags that you use. So the correlation is school. You go to school, you send your kid off to school. And if you are me, which I am me, every morning when my kid takes their lunch, I put stuff in plastic bags and I am guilt ridden every time.
Yeah.
And I feel like garbage, like there's gotta be a better way. And honestly, out of the blue, she just emailed me and said, look what I've done. And I haven't seen her in a couple years because we haven't lived here.
Yeah.
And she makes these. She sews them all herself, ships them out. She's just like the coolest. I love her. Anyway.
So the idea is these are little drawstring bags that are reusable a billion times over, and you're not sending your kids to...
Billion times over, lifetime. And you just wipe them out like the inside. So you can see like the fabric on the outside is just like pleasant. It's not like you're touching a plastic bag.
Yeah.
And then the plastic or the inside is Teflon or something. I don't know. Like it just, nothing sticks to it. And you just wash it out with water. You can wash it in your, you know, whatever. But it's like amazing. And my kids took them this morning. She sent me a couple. My kids took them this morning and are like unbelievably thrilled. It's the cutest thing. Because I'll tell you who are the environmentalists. The children. Holy cow. They are into this big time. So anyway, these are awesome. So if you are... if I've ever said anything here that has helped you in your life, can you please spend $15 and go buy a bag?
Yeah, why not? I'd love to help her. Is she here local too? Am I helping a local?
She is local.
Okay.
She's local. You can see on there's the Liberty Park lunch set.
Sugar House, Utah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's my old neighborhood where I used to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was in Sugar House.
And super cool. And she's trying to find like local women that can help her sew, and you know, she's just kind of building this from the ground up, and she's a stud. And honestly, go ahead.
This is the way to do it. Do that City Creek sampler. Do the $20 and you get like 3 bags, different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you get a bunch.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
The Liberty Park lunch set's pretty good too. I think I may.
Yeah. Oh no, you do only get 3. It's funny, that red one looks like I guess it's because it's deep. It's folded over itself. It looks like a bunch of bags.
I'm gonna totally do this.
No, and here's the thing too, is like the bigger one. So I'm sure she sent me, I think, the lunch set. I think the big one's big. I can't remember which one she sent me. Must be the big one. Or even that gallon size one. Like you need to take a bunch of fruit somewhere. I mean, you just eat healthier. That's the point too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ours are just full of beans today, so lots of sugar snap peas in our lives. But yeah, so if I've ever helped you, I've $10 worth of helping you.
Yeah, big deal, right?
Because I love her and I want her to succeed, and she's freaking fantastic.
I'm buying one right now. I'm getting one now. So
That's cool.
I'm gonna get the Liberty Park bag or set because that I remember going to see fireworks at Liberty Park, so I'm thinking about that.
See, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then you can take your little TMS sticker iron on it on your bag.
Yeah, why not?
That's right.
Yeah, why not indeed. All right, that's very cool.
You can take plums. You can take no plums and leave no plums in these bags.
I wonder if Wendy knows that. I don't know if I've ever told that to her, the plums thing.
What?
Oh gosh.
We're not going to do it now, but it's like a stupid, it's a riddle. And I did it years ago on the show, and it just haunts me. It still haunts me.
And make sure Scott says it the right way.
Yeah.
Shocking that would
It's a
ever
little
happen.
like how mom tells jokes, you know, where the punchline should give the punchline away at the beginning. So you have
Why
to just
did
be
the
careful.
chicken get to the other side when he crossed? No, that's not
That's
it.
not
Why did the
it.
chicken cross the road?
Why did he get, yeah. Or she'll say, why did the blonde die at closed for the winter? I go, Mom, what are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. She goes, oh, no. No, what I mean is, why did the blonde die at the drive-in movie theater? And I said, why? Because she went to see Closed for the Winter. Anyway,
Wow.
it's good stuff.
That is good stuff. So plums in your bag, whatever that means. Buy some bags.
Oh, she has a store. It says she has a store here. Is that true? She got a store down
Yeah,
there?
and she's gone to some farmer markets and done some other stuff, and they're in like boutique-y kinds of places. And anyway, she's done pretty well starting out. It's pretty new too.
I'm buying this this is also going to be a gift for Kim because I never do this. Yeah, this is good.
That's a
Well
great
done.
idea.
Yeah.
Or
Dude,
keeps back.
what wife wouldn't like a set of bags? a set of
Look, I'm not great at these
reusable lunch bags.
But now Kim Kim will be at the boy. Like today, she's babysitting the boy, so that'd be perfect. Go to the park, put some snacks in there.
Totally.
Take the little one with her. See,
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's so perfect for a grandmother who is Kim.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah, 100%. All right, I've done it. It's mine. It's coming. I've received an
Way
email
to
confirmation.
go. Way to go.
Well done. And everyone else should do it too. It's a really cool thing. All right, Wendy is. You can find her at Therapy Thursdays on Twitter. She thinks she uses it very much, but even when she does, that's her name. Therapy
Well, if you
Thursdays.
tweet at me, I might find it in the next 6 months.
Yeah,
Response.
yeah. Think of that.
That's exciting.
Look at the response time on that. It's incredible.
Mhm.
And
very
we'll talk next week about whatever we do then.
Okay.
Have a good one. We'll see
All
you.
right, bye.
Bye.
All right. There she goes.
Bye.
And here we go. You know what I'm going to do real quick before we go? I'm going to see if Jamie did anything. I don't think he has for bonus
Jamie,
stuff.
did you do anything?
Did you do anything? I mean, my hell.
Do you even work for us anymore, bro?
Oh, no, he hasn't. But I was checking because that Observer stuff was getting crazy, and I thought maybe he did another one. But nope, we'll wait till Monday for a brand new one. So tomorrow we'll have TMSPM at 3:30 Mountain Time right here on the live channel. So check that out. We will also be, there will be a new instance tomorrow morning. 100% that's happening. And what else? This weekend, Film Sack we mentioned. There will be dungeons, might happen. Depends. It depends. If Kyle and Kristen have their baby, there may not be dungeons this weekend. But if they don't have their baby, we're going to squeeze it in. So while she's squeezing it out, we'll squeeze it in. I should take that back. Anyway, that's all very exciting. Big week of content, so stick around for it. All right, Brian, we should leave, but with a song first.
With a song, and this one is going out. I got to pull up the email. This is going out to Ryan. His dad just had hiatal hernia surgery. Admittedly, not, fortunately, not a scary, life-threatening surgery to have, but still not a great one to have, especially if you're older, right? It's a little bit tougher to recover from something like that. I had it done. I was 17 when I had hiatal hernia surgery.
Oh, I had it when I was
hunched over for a little while.
I had it when I was 4 years old. Can you
Oh,
believe that?
really?
Yeah, they had this weird baby version of it, or toddler version of it, and they had to do the full surgery and everything. It was bad. I still have scars from my 4-year-old self. Yeah. Anyway.
So Ryan wrote in, said, I'm not really sure what to say or how to request a song, especially since I haven't done so before. My father's going under the knife on Tuesday, this last Tuesday, for hiatal hernia. I know it's short notice, but between work, home life, and trying to secure time away to be by his bedside, it's been tough to get this in. I'm extremely sorry for having to wait until the last minute to request the song. We talked back and forth on Twitter in a very public forum about what song to play. The original one that he suggested was a very, very new country song. And I said, not quite a fit for the show. Does he have any other favorites? Apparently he does. And another one of his favorites is Barracuda by Heart.
One of the greatest songs ever.
It is one of the greatest songs ever about the recording industry and, and how record label agents are kind of trying to get you. They're out to get you like barracudas.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I just thought it was like about a dude or something,
Yeah. Nope. I think this was written about the recording agency.
Sure.
Anyway, so we went back and forth, and then he further broke my heart by saying, at the very least, pick something that stays as close to the original as possible. Like, okay, well, all right. I do have a couple really cool Barracuda covers. I think we've played the Rasputina version on here, which is all women playing cellos and string instruments, and it's really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy Lewis and the Bad Plus have a really good kind of jazz version with vocals. This one is good, and it kind of fits both criteria. It's really good. I think Ryan's dad's going to like it. It's close to the original, but it still adds a bunch of new things to it. So I think everybody is going to enjoy this. This is the Adrenaline Mob from a 2013 Coverta EP album. And here is their cover of Heart's Barracuda.
Ooh. All right. Sounds good. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And have your Wilsons ready. Wait, they weren't the Wilsons. Who am I thinking of? What's their names? There's a Wilson in that
Wilsons?
group. Yeah, isn't there a Wilson? Isn't there? Isn't?
Anne and Nancy Wilson.
No,
yes.
they're sisters, right?
They are sisters.
Okay.
There's the Anne and Nancy Wilson.
Nice. Well, get your Barracuda, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Boots and pants and boots and pants.
Remember that?
I haven't heard that guy in a while. Oh, I missed that.
A long time ago.
Yes.
Like early TMS days. Way back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. We are back to the patron folks who are listening to the bonus content. Hello and welcome.